What is going on, bowlers? Chris Beans here with Bowlers Rant, bringing you 2 new updates from Storm Bowling. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons and turn on those notifications. I do appreciate your support of the channel. And please share. Okay, just got back from vacation, but that's not going to stop me from bringing you these updates. Check this out. We have the Absolute Power and the Summit Peak. Asymmetric solid on the left. Symmetrical pearl on the right, and this is looking a bit tasty, if I say so myself, and we got to get into the specs. Now, Storm did release a preview. It's 41 seconds long. I'm going to play you about 8 seconds just to wet your whistle over to the interwebs. Check this out. Here we go. Not playing with the sound, but you get a little bit of shelf appeal action here, right? And we're going to stop right about now, because if you want to see the rest, head on over to Storm Bowling's YouTube channel and you can check out all the information. So we're going to head over to the ball section. First, we're going to cover the Absolute Power. Let's take a test drive here, see what's going on here. Liking this pour. Very interesting on the bling action here. And here's what's interesting. We're back to R2S, but it's R2S Deep cover stock, okay? And this fragrance is blueberry, orange, and cake. URD January 19th, 2020. Let's take a look at the specs. This ball has the R2S Deep Solid reactive cover stock with the Sentinel core, factory finish, 4000 grit Avalon. The color berry, tangelo, and steel. Man, I'm so glad, because I would have never guessed that. I probably would have said green, brown, and gray because I'm so effing colorblind. I'm just kidding. But not about being colorblind. All right, so blueberry orange cake. The number's at 15 pounds, 2.48 RG with the .050 differential, and .021 asymmetric differential. Okay, so here's the deal. This is an asymmetric solid with a high amount of sanding, right? So it's almost going to have a sheen kind of, surface. You know what I thought about when I thought about this ball? I thought about the the Codex, right? If you guys remember the Codex, this was an R2S solid reactive cover. Now the numbers are wildly different because this was back in the day we can get away with 058 differentials, but this thing has 3000 grit, and I remember it lane shined quite a bit. So when I look at this ball, and we'll go over to the design intent document, because here's the thing. They're saying R2S Deep fits, that's some marketing stuff to the letter, but it's cleaner than flagship R2S formula. All right, so the Codex was, it sometimes would struggle with, carry down, right? If I'm being honest. And so this one's going to ignore a third of the lane, but they're going to say it's going to finish with more back end of the pocket. I didn't consider the Codex to be that angular of a ball, but this ball probably be a little bit more angular. Okay, so people who like the mid lane, thanks to the rougher, more porous R2S Deep Solid option, which at 4000 grit, I'm not sure I'm buying that. I guess we'll have to see what happens. And they're talking about some of the dynamics of the weight block. Bottom line, this is something that if you are not on the heavy soup, first ball out of the bag for the tweeners and strokers is going to fit really, really nice. Now, if you are someone with hand of God, then you're either going to have to move left, or you could use this in a soup, but you're probably looking at least a 400 rev rate or more up the lane. And they're also saying this is the first single density asymmetric core in the Storm line since the Lucid. So, looking sharp, and we will see what this looks like when the ball videos come out. All right, next up. And if it sounds like I'm out of breath, it's because I just spent 5 days in the mountains at 7,500 feet elevation, and breathing has been tough, so bear with me. All right, Summit Peak. So this is the Pearl version of the Summit. It's got TX23. Thank the Lord. Okay, same cover as what came on the Journey, but the dynamics are going to be a bit different, mainly because of the core. But let's take a true drive. Now, if I think about shelf appeal, this looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, looking sharp. Storm, you nailed this one. Apple Kiwi Pie. January 19, 2024 release date, so same release date. Let's look at the specs. This ball has the TX23 Pro reactive cover, centripetal HD AI core. So this has the AI outer core technology. It's got reactive gloss. The color, goldenrod, mint, and iridium. I like that. Okay, apple kiwi, we know that. And the number's at 15 pounds, 2.46 RG with a 056 differential. Translation, this is basically, to me it looks like basically a modern Marvel Pearl. So the difference, instead of our 2X cover Pearl, you've got TX23 Pearl reactive cover stock. And I can't wait to see this one going down the lane. Now when we go to the design intent, so they're saying it's creating a unique shape. Centrifugal HD packed inside the AI core allows us to push the limits of the RG. Okay, cool. Yeah, because it revs up quite a bit at 246. Saying you're not going to miss a spot. Of course, to me, that's all about friction in your release. You know, you got to stand in the right place. You got to put it at the right position and hope that the odds favor you. All right. So they're saying this ensures Summit Peak revs up early, shaping down the lane. We'll see about that. Because of the early part of the lane where the bit's beaten up the most, TX Pearl ensures this ball won't burn up too early. I like the sound of that. TX23 is an improved formula derived from TX16 that was in the phase 2. Gives us enhanced oil absorption and better grip on those slick conditions. Okay, so translation, this is going to be basically something you can use for all 3 games if you're on a medium to light condition, or you're going to use this as a breakdown ball when you use something stronger. But overall, it looks sharp. Now, back to the shelf appeal, my favorite part of this. Hands down, I'm giving this the Summit Peak. I'm not saying the absolute power is a slouch, not at all. But the gloss is always where it's going for me, and this looks fantastic. That brings us to the end. Of course, universal release date, January 19th, 2024. I'll put that in the video description. And if you want to learn more about these balls and where you can pick them up, I've got links in the description where you can grab these at bullishmart.com. A lot of great information there. So, what do you think about these 2 balls? Which one do you like better? Do you think you would like the Absolute Power better or the Summit Peak better? And if you were to get one, what layout would you go with? Drop me a comment, let me know. Let's continue the conversation. More updates are coming, and until then, bowl well.